Investors and traders, welcome to the channel Market Chart Pattern. Today is 19th of April 2025. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day and the weekend. And for those subscribers celebrating Easter, a very happy Easter. In this video, we'll take a look at the key US banking stocks and ETF. It is one of the videos that we haven't done in quite a while. So we'll have to go through a fair amount of update. It's an important video to take a look at because there has been a fair amount of development, and with the recent volatility in the marketplace, these stocks are making really key pattern formations and also the prices at really key levels as well. So we should be discussing this in detail, and I think you'll find this video of great value. As always, the video is for educational purposes only, and it is not a financial advice. So let's start by taking a look at the weekly chart of KRE, which is the regional banking ETF. And just for the context, this is when the Silicon Valley Bank news came out, and this is when the Federal Reserve came out and did their liquidity. And since then, we have seen the market rise. It followed the patterns really well, although we had to go through. We had to be really patient for some of these patterns to play out, but they did. They went right to the 78.6% retracement, and then we have seen a sharp move to the downside. It started back in November, actually, when this index topped, and it has never made a new high since going back to 2022. So we need to take into consideration, and then it broke below this trend line as well and went right into the 61.8% retracement, and this is where it is consolidating. So it's really important it actually finds support between this $48 to $45 level. This is where I think we should have a pretty good support coming for this index. Getting below this is, I think, is going to go and test the lows right here. Taking those lows out will not look at all good for the index, because it means that we are in A, B, C, D to the downside, taking out these lows. So not a very good picture if this really key support level is not held. All right, so now let's take a look at the XLF, which is the Spider Select Sector Fund for the financials, and it's a very different kind of price action chart pattern with respect to KRE, because the formulation of this ETF is very different. It's got some stocks which are not necessarily banks, such as Visa and MasterCard, and also Berkshire Hathaway is also part of it, so they influence it quite a lot. So what the stock has done is basically it went right into this level of 52.50 nearly, which missed our target of this ABCD by about a buck, but we can say it just pretty much made that pattern as well. And then we have seen a sharp move lower when this whole news with regards to the tariff started, and what the stock has done is it has actually done an ABCD, where the CD leg is 1.618 times the AB leg, and then it has retraced a little bit higher, getting into strong resistance 50%, and also a 61.8% retracement of this leg, and 50% of this high to this low. So this is an important low for the week of 7th of April to be held. However, we are right at this resistance level as well, so there's a possibility we could either come down and test these lows one more time, maybe even a little bit lower, but jump back into this range again, or what we're looking at is an A, B, C, D. So let me try to illustrate that. So there is a possibility of this kind of a pattern as well, and that will take us right into this 39.38 level, where we have this 38.2% retracement coming in from the lows way back right here of March 2020, and that should be a pretty strong support level for the XLF. However, the chances that 7th of April low is a very strong low as well, and there's a possibility then on the daily chart, here we go, that it could as long as it's held, we might just be in consolidation and start to move higher as well. Getting below this, of course, that 38.2% retracement comes into the play. All right, so now let's take a look at some of the individual banking stocks. So we start with Goldman Sachs. Here we go. So the Goldman Sachs went right into this ABCD pattern where the CD leg is 1.272 times the AB leg right there. Wasn't able to sustain that, completed this pattern, and we have seen about a 35% decline in this stock, which is pretty significant. So you can say by the 20% standard of a bear market, it had a bear market move. This one is bigger than this move that we saw back in 2022. And the fact is that it also happened in a really in a space of few weeks. In fact, when it started to roll over from 18th of February 2025 week. Now moving down to the daily chart, this is where this pattern formation is really important to watch. What this stock has done is it has done a perfect ABCD one-to-one price projection right here at $440 per share level, and then this is where we have really important support coming in, and the market has rallied. It hasn't really quite gone to the 38.2% retracement of this entire decline, but it could actually reach 527, maybe even 530. In my opinion, getting above this of this level of 38.2% retracement, also the 20-day moving average, will be really positive for the stock. And then there's a possibility that this was a double bottom, and the stock is moving higher. So Goldman Sachs at really important support levels. The chances are the support is likely to be held because of the pattern formation. Now let's take a look at JP Morgan. Here we go. So the JP Morgan stock is really interesting because on the monthly chart, this is something we don't take a look at quite often because it's really long term. This is this ABCD in green, which actually completed, and the stock was so powerful because such a really well-run company that in fact it has done the CD leg of 1.618 times the AB leg, and that is a pretty strong or a completing pattern because of the 1.618. And then we saw a decline in the stock. The decline has been roughly about 28%. So it's slightly less than what we saw for Goldman Sachs. Now let's go back to the weekly chart, and what we see is it is actually at a pretty important support level. The market has held the 38.2% retracement of the entire CD leg right here, and then moving down to the daily chart. Here we go. We also see the one-to-one price projection, not exactly hitting the exact point D, but close enough, missing it by about $3. And in Goldman Sachs it was exact ABCD, and then the stock has risen quite a bit, right to the 38.2% retracement, between 38.2% and 50% retracement, and this is where we could have a scenario similar to Goldman Sachs play out. Either we move back into this range, maybe even test the lows here, maybe making a slightly lower low, and then we basically jump back into the range, or this was an ABCD. So we could have an A, B, C, D to the downside, where we could go further, lower, further. So we'll see how it play out. But the chances are this low is actually pretty important low, 7th of April. And the reason is that we are seeing these ABCD patterns in so many of these banking stocks that I am of the opinion that this 7th of April low is a major low, or a major support level, and we could see actually at least the stocks consolidate in this trading range for quite some time, and then begin to make an ultimate move, which possibly is likely to be on the upside. Now let's take a look at the Citigroup. So the Citigroup used to be our least loved of these banking stocks, but there has been a tremendous amount of improvement that took place. I'll show that on the weekly chart. So here what we see is basically it has done a nice ABCD, exact ABCD right at the 61.8% retracement, as highlighted in the shaded region, a very strong support right here. So getting below the support level around 55 is not good at all, because it could be the mark of an ABCD leg lower. However, the chances are we might just consolidate right in this trading range, and this low of 7th of April is a really important low. On the weekly chart, here we go. We see the similar picture, but what I wanted to show was that the stock actually made a new all-time high, which is really interesting for the Citi Group stock, because at one stage it did not look that the stock was that strong, but this has been a remarkable recovery for the Citigroup stock. Now let's take a look at Morgan Stanley. Here we go, weekly chart. It has also done its ABCD, not quite making the exact one-to-one projection point, but also finding support right from the 61.8% retracement. Let me bring it to the right hand side, easier to see. Here we go. So there we go. So really important support level right here. The chances are it's going to just consolidate here as well. So this is on the daily chart what it looks like for the Morgan Stanley stock. So really interesting that so many of these stocks are actually doing similar ABCD patterns. So this is why I think the 7th of April low is a really important low that we should be watching, with the possibility that we might have seen a very important low for the rest of the 2025 as well. Okay, now let's take a look at Wells Fargo. Again, doing the same thing. I've not drawn the shaded region ABCD exact one-to-one price projection, 38.2% retracement, very strong support of 7th of April low. And on the weekly chart, again we see nice ABCD. This 38.2% retracement is actually coming right from the lows of going back to November of 2020. So really important level, strong support as well. I would imagine consolidation, maybe a test of these lows, but I think this support is likely to hold in 2025. Now let's take a look at the stock of Visa. Here we go. So with Visa, it had completed its pattern. CD leg is right to the tick, 1.618 times the AB leg, and this part after the elections, or the early part of 2025, was very strong for Visa, and then it's really amazing to see a perfect CD leg of 1.618 times. We had been really positive for Visa and also MasterCard for quite some time in this entire segment, but it was also really interesting to see that one-to-one price projection was exceeded to 1.272, then ultimately 1.618. Since then, the stock has actually retraced quite a bit. Let's see by how much. And there we go, about 18.35%. And then what the stock has done now is also a ABCD pattern formation, where the CD leg is 1.272 times the AB leg. Here we go, we see this on the daily chart. Now it's also in a region where it is finding resistance, coming in about 61.8% retracement of this, and about 78.6% retracement. Here we go. So pretty strong resistance right here, which is why I think it's going to go back into this range. We'll draw a level of 38.2% retracement right here. I think it's got a little bit further to go to the downside. So this is what we'll be watching in the stock of Visa. Now let's take a look at the stock of MasterCard, because the MasterCard has actually been stronger compared to the Visa stock until recently. And here we go. I think it's got a chance to. It missed the 1.618 times. The CD leg missed the 1.618 times the AB, but it came pretty close. So it missed it by about by about close to about $20 actually. $20 for a stock which at one time was like 583, margin of error. And here we go, it has also done an ABCD right here. um, Also finding important support here. Let's go down and take a look at this on the daily chart. So I've not drawn the ABCD on this one, but I want you to point out, you see this entire cluster right here. We have a number of Fibonacci retracements coming in here, and also this 1.618 times where the CT leg will be of the AB leg. So 458, 455, very, very, very strong support levels for the MasterCard stock. So these are the major stocks that we are looking at. Actually, I've forgotten to take a look at the Bank of America. Here we go. So the Bank of America also seems to be doing the one-to-one price projection. Here we go. There we go. So right coming to 1.272 times, and let me see a support level coming in from a retracement. This is the obvious low, and this was 38.2%. We saw a bounce, and then let's take a look at right at the 61.8% retracement. Let me highlight it through the shaded region. Here we go. Here we go. So also the Bank of America doing some really important pattern formation. So this is what we are watching in these financial banking stocks and ETFs. Let's take a look at Berkshire, because this is something I've not had a look at in some time. And let's take a look at here we go, Berkshire. And Berkshire, actually the CD leg is just getting extended. So let's take a look at in Berkshire. There we go, 1.272 times. I thought it might do this ABCD like this, which I've drawn in the brown region, but it did not do that. The stock has been pretty strong, and Mr. Buffett has been moving more and more into cash. So that is also really interesting. So I think it's just going to consolidate here for some time, but 7th of April low is also an important one for in all of these stocks that we are looking at. So that's what we think these patterns are telling us. 7th of April low, really important. These stocks making the ABCD, some are exact one-to-one price projections, some the CD leg gets extended, but they are also the low of 7th of April ending at really important key Fibonacci retracement as well. In some cases, cluster of retracements, something very, very powerful support levels. So really important to watch that, and I think as I told you, I think we're gonna go more in the consolidation phase, and then to stabilize more. So this is what we are looking at and watching in these important stocks. As always, this video is for educational purposes only. If you enjoyed this video, you found it of educational value, please do subscribe to the channel, and if you do, hit that bell icon button. That way you will know when the new videos are posted and you will not miss anything. And also, if you want to support the channel, then the link is actually in the description, where you can make a donation. I will really, really, really appreciate that, because it will just help me with some of the admin related aspects, such as subscriptions for trading view, etc. And it will also help me to focus more and do more research and bring more videos out for you guys. So thank you very much for watching the video. Good luck, good trading, and speak to you guys soon.